My name is Jonathan Sutak, and I'm the director, producer, and editor of Dawns of Disco, which is a feature-length documentary about an Italian pop star named Den Harrow, who's been lip-syncing for 30 years, and what happens when the real singer comes out of the woodwork in 2008. I spend a lot of time messing around on the internet and on YouTube, and one day I was just kind of watching a lot of Italo disco videos, which is this bizarre genre from the mid-'80s in Italy, and a lot of different artists, a lot of different music videos, and all of a sudden a video popped up on the sidebar called Tom Hooker Responds to Den Harrow's Threats, and I had never heard about Tom Hooker, so I watched it, and he alleged that he was the real singer, and went on and sang a cappella, proving he was the real singer. So I thought this was just a really interesting story, obviously with insane characters, so I got in touch with him and he was down. So Tom Hooker grew up in Switzerland and moved to Italy to pursue music in about 1980. Was pretty successful, did a lot of shows. In 1985, he was approached by Roberto Turati and Mickey Kirigato, who were two producers in Italy who had this idea to do a project in which Stefano Zandri, who was kind of like this really good-looking, charismatic club kid, to front a pop project. So Mickey Kirigato primarily would do the musical component, and Tom Hooker would provide the lyrics and vocals. And they approached Baby Records, which was this Italian music label at the time, and they went forward with it. And it was hugely successful for many years in the 1980s. Stefano was just a really charismatic, good-looking guy. He used to hang out at this club called American Disaster, and as soon as he walked in, everyone would just watch him dance and admire his makeup, his outfits. So he was the perfect candidate to front a music project. Conceptually, I found it interesting because it was kind of this case study about a pop song and what makes a pop song or a pop phenomenon happen, successful, etc. You have Tom Hooker, who provides the lyrics and the vocals. You have Stefano, who provides the face, the presentation, the stage presence. So by letting each character kind of tell their side of the story, you're kind of allowing the viewer to decide what makes a pop song, what makes a pop phenomenon. But in the film, I think that whole cerebral argument transforms as you get to know the characters, and it becomes more about just two men who got involved in a dicey deal in the 80s and are now living out the repercussions. I mean, as far as reaching out, it was a lot easier with Tom. You know, Tom had put out this press conference video with his producing partner from the 80s, Mickey Kirigato, in which he was clearly trying to let people know that he was the singer. And so far, his efforts went as far as YouTube. I think that he was excited about the prospect of a documentary filmmaker coming in and facilitating his story to a larger audience. So it wasn't too difficult to get Tom involved in the project. Stefano was more challenging. Initially, he said no. He said, I would do it if it was only about me and blah, blah, blah. So we went forward for a while just with Tom until we went to Italy and started interviewing people who were involved in Italo disco in the 80s, at which point Stefano realized, this project is happening. The story's going to get out there. So if I get involved, I can at least tell my side of the story. And I think that it's a benefit to everything that he did. I guess if I could say anything, it would be to just always try to push it. Through this project, the documentary consistently got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, the scope broadened. It started off in just Las Vegas. Then Tom went on tour. Now it's all over America. Then we go to Italy. Now it's international. And, it costs money. It's a sacrifice. But if you really want to make the best movie you can, you have to put everything into it. So that's what I tried to do.